Okay, we got a nice little hole going right here. This is part 2 for the exterior. And coming on along, we've got soffit baffles. Excuse me, we've got soffit vents. We're going to be looking for soffit baffles once we get inside. It's a brick exterior wall. I think we got some masonry. We got a parge coat that's going around our foundation perimeter. And the parge coat is like a cake frosting. It's a decorative coating. It looks attractive, so a lot of people put it on there like that, but it's separate from the concrete. And it's like cake frosting. Just because the parge coat is not cracked doesn't mean the cake is not cracked. And just because the parge coat is cracked doesn't mean the cake is cracked. So it's a parge coat. It's a direct decorative. If we were doing a wood destroying insect report, well, then this would be noted as conducive to wood destroying insects, because the voids that are created between the two different materials, termites can utilize that to come into your home undetected. Coming along, there's a little clean out right there, but what I'm noticing is moss. Okay, this is staying pretty wet. It's staying pretty wet all in here. All the way over here. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, it's a whiskey stick. Okay. Coming on along. This is sealed. This is a 1-year warranty inspection. So these are control joints. We're supposed to have these. And this sealant, okay, its very nature of this sealant is it's flexible, but it also shrinks and pulls away from the brickwork. So every year you should come in and check this stuff. And little spots like that, you can just dab. But you know, at some point it gets taken out and replaced. And this is not a weep hole. Okay, brick is a very good building material. Okay, brick is fireproof. This house could burn down. You could reuse the brick. There's one of those cracks I was talking about. This house could burn down, like I said, and you could reuse the brick. It's a very good insulator. But a characteristic about brick architecture is regional. We do use it a lot as a preferred building material. There's nothing deficient about it, but a characteristic of brick is that it's porous. The brick and mortar is very porous, and water just runs right through it. And so we have a void behind there. We have a drainage plane behind there, and we have weep holes. Most of the time, you won't see anything coming out of it. It'll be water vapor. But if you have an event, I've seen some events, I hope you don't, but if you have an event, then the moisture, okay, the water will flow out of here. You see this brick? This is a good place to have this conversation. See how this brick doesn't match the rest of the bricks? It's because the building inspector wanted the bricks left out so he could come in with a mirror and look to make sure that this drainage plane that comes down here, that the brick slag hasn't clogged this, forcing the water to go back into your structure. So that was that was some decent diligence on building inspectors' part. Grading and drainage. See, we'll talk about that when we get here in a minute. So anyway, we got some little gaps in our weep holes over here that need to be sealed. That's because it shrinks and it pulls away from the brickwork. And yes, we know the brick is going to leak. I knew I was going to get back to that sometime. We knew the brick is going to leak. So we designed it with the weep holes. It's all part of the whole building. It's a building science. And so it's all put together like that. But having said that, we don't need more water getting into the brick. This house is designed to withstand nature. It's not designed to withstand extra openings. It's not designed for the lawn sprinkler system to hit the house every morning at 6 o'clock, something like that. It's not designed for that. Okay, but in its basic concept, that we're doing pretty good. Now builders, they get grading pretty good. They get it. They understand it. They don't get drainage so much. Look at this. This is level. So water collects in here. And so, if this side stays notably drier than the back side or the front side, well, then this is expansive clay soil. It expands and contracts about 3 inches between when it's hydrated and dehydrated. So you got this extra pressure on your foundation in this area as opposed to other areas of the house. And that's not good for your foundation. Another interesting thing about this is your dogs can play in it and get all muddy. But even worse, mosquitoes, West Nile disease. Okay? It's a thing. It's a thing, and that's not draining. That's not drainage. Water is collecting or pooling over here. Some builders call it ponding. Call it what you will. It's not supposed to do that. A lot of builders will say, well, if it doesn't dry within 48 hours, okay, we consider that a problem. No, that's not drainage. They say, oh, well, let's let it go for, the next year and we'll see how it operates. You see how it's operating now. It's been a year. Now's the time to do something about it. Or they'll say, oh, well, our warranty company doesn't have a problem with that. Not this builder. This builder doesn't say any of those things. This builder's a good builder. He's not about to say any of those things. This builder's going to recognize the problem when he sees it. It's so obvious. But some builders will say, well, our warranty company will handle that. Our warranty company doesn't have a problem with that. And you go like, wow, that's interesting. Well, who owns your warranty company? This is, well, ABC. You're like, ABC? Well, doesn't ABC own you? Yeah, no, but we're different. It's a whole different department. They're hard on us. One hand doesn't wash the other. That's what they say. That those other builders say. It's not what this builder says. Okay. We do not have rain gutters. Well, a lot of builders will say, not this builder, but a lot of builders will say, this is a good one. But those other builders, they'll say, well, rain gutters aren't required by code. Huh, not required by code. What does the code say? And it says the wastewater off of the house should be managed. That's code for rain gutters. You can manage it. You could staple sponges around there, just as an example. I'm not advocating that, but you could find some other way to manage the rainwater. It's not necessary that gutters be installed. It's only necessary that it be managed. And now the house has been built and it's a year old. It's the Texas Housing Authority. And I might not agree with this because it's kind of vague, but the Texas Housing Authority says that all residential structures should have rain gutters. And again, it's kind of vague. They don't say how many, they don't say where, they don't say things like that, but they do say they should have rain gutters. It's the way it's written. So there's that. But no, this is level grading and drainage right in here. We're coming on along. Because we're come-alongers. And here we go. Where do termites live? In the ground. Oh. What do they eat? Dead wood. Oh. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to the house. That's called a clue. That's called a clue. Let's see how this works right in here. Okay. It's got a notice on it, barely. Okay, GOCI protection. Yay! Nobody's getting shocked today. Yet. Okay, coming on around. A tree shouldn't be closer than 25 feet to the structure to make room for the roots to grow and keep the branches off of the house. And I get it. There's a tree in front of every one of these homes. It's probably a homeowners association thing. You probably have to keep the tree. But it's a deficiency. That's what I'm here for, so that's what I'm going to call out. Trees are too close to the house. Moving on. The sealant over here is lacking. Sealant's lacking right up in there. Now my client was referencing it. Here they are. We got a little bit of cracking in the mortar. It's pretty much typical, but again, you know, you don't want more water getting in than is necessary. So, you know, is it time to seal the cracks? It's, you know, that's something you're always going to negotiate. That's going to be an ongoing process. But at the same time, yeah, you got cracks in your mortar right there. You know, just a little bit of cracking right in there. Outside corner on the garage. So, and when I say that, I didn't mean to, you know, it sounds a little dismissive, I guess. I'm getting lazy. But, you know, the outside corners are more susceptible to cracking, and the garage is more susceptible to cracking. So the outside corners on the garage are more, you know, susceptible to cracking. Moving on. There's a little bit of a crack right there. I think I already talked about the sealant. Moving on along. We don't have a rain diverter over our condensing unit. I got a whole video about the condensing unit coming up, so just hang on. I got a whole video coming up about the electrical system, so just hang on for that too. That right there is your fresh air induction vent for the air conditioning system. And this is a heat pump system. And then moving on along. Got a little moss growing over here too. Alright. I shouldn't throw that around like that, you know. I'm gonna have to have the bubbles replaced. Look at that. It's level. Huh.